Good morning, good morning. So, funny enough, I have very, very little YouTube success. I've been posting on here for, I don't know, 5 years or so. But only recently, just with the lack of a job, have I actually sat down and was like, let's put this on wax. Let's record some shit, right? So one of the first ones just a few days ago I did a China one. Where we kind of just sat and watched a couple well-known YouTubers discuss China. And what I discovered was there is a lot of people who A, don't like the two guys I used as my reference point, and B, holy shit, the amount of Americans that are shilling for China was just mind-blowing. I'm still getting comments today of, that's crazy why you would say things like this, and it's like, poof. So that's just me going, I need to have a little bit of a thicker skin doing this. That's okay though. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. That being said, I had done a Canada one yesterday, doing some trade and stuff like that, and somebody had commented saying, hey, I would love to see you do one about Britain. And it's funny that they were saying that because the whole time I was thinking about, China, Canada, and we talked about Switzerland doing the digital ID thing as well, and this is a global thing. And I kept thinking to myself, like, I don't know how to attack Britain. Not attack, you know what I mean, but like attack it as a subject. There's so much going on. The immigration is horrible. The two-tier justice system. I mean, we're seeing, if you're white in England right now, I'm sorry, you're probably not having a good time. I don't want to make it a race thing, but it is a race thing. Let's be honest. Anybody who knows anything understands that if you take a majority, let me get this out of my way. If you take a majority and you sprinkle in a couple, okay, the majority is still good, still doing their thing. You take the majority and then you apply a majority, what's going to happen? Obviously, nothing good is going to happen. So, now, let's go a little further. What happens when instead of sprinkling, you slam the majority with a majority, and that new majority sees women as second-class citizens? But the first group of people sees women as equals. Those two do not mix. They do not go together, right? It's like gays for Palestine. It's like they might appreciate the sentiment, but they're going to kill you too, Crazy work. Anyways, I'm done monologuing and soapboxing. It's just, as an uneducated American, a lot of this is coming off like, haven't we seen this before? 20s, 30s, 40s.
Continues to champion digital ID. He says it'll be compulsory and it's the only way to tackle illegal immigration.
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work, because we have to stop illegal working.
Douglas, more than 2.5 million people have already signed a petition against Starmer's digital ID. What are your thoughts on the merits of this policy?
Well, this is a reheated policy from the Blair era. And it's another reminder that Starmer doesn't have any real policies of his own. But presumably Tony Blair or somebody from Blair's circle has said, why not give this another go? It was fantastically unpopular 20 years ago, but perhaps people will be with it now. I'm not one of those libertarians who objects to the idea of ID because they think that government's going to come and snoop and all that sort of thing. I object to it, particularly rolled out on these grounds, because you don't need digital ID to prove your right or otherwise to be in the UK, and it does absolutely nothing that I can see serious to crack down on illegal migration. I mean, for instance, if you wanted to crack down on illegal migration...
I love where he's going with this, because it's obviously not the case. Like, you have digital IDs to point out the person who is saying stupid shit on social media, right? Or is saying dissenting opinions about the government on social media. It's not to work.
Migration. You don't have to get everyone in the United Kingdom to sign up to digital ID. You could send boats out into the Channel to stop illegal migrant gangs sending illegals into the UK. You could stop the UK border force acting as the helpmates of the smuggling gangs by going out and, halfway through the Channel, maybe a bit more. If the boat doesn't have to have any troubles for the UK Coast Guard and the Royal Navy and others to pick up the illegal migrants, say thank you very much to the smugglers, and bring the illegal migrants to the UK. None of that gets stopped by making every British person get digital ID.
Right.
It's a classic case of an inept government that doesn't have many ideas, rehashing and reheating an old idea. And I can say with absolute certainty it is a distraction. It does nothing to deal with illegal migration. And by the way, if they're worried about illegal workers, they could just send the police or anyone else to all of the migrant hotels and vast swathes of the UK, go to the Deliveroo companies and the Uber Eats companies and all the others, and just ask if everyone's got any ID at all, digital or otherwise, who's doing deliveries for those people.
What a great point. You look at a lot of this when the immigrants come over, I don't even know what to call them. The illegals come over. Doesn't matter where it is, what country you're in. Your illegal comes over. They're going to take the BS jobs, the gig work jobs, and ride sharing and food delivery service is now one of the biggest gig jobs you can have. Well, who does that fuck? That fucks the lower class American. Because, hey, you got a whip, you can deliver some food, right? Well, now you got these people who don't speak a lick of English delivering my food. And I can't complain to them because they don't speak English. See how there's a problem? And that's a food delivery thing. We're not even talking about the drugs, the rape, all the bad things that come with it. We're just talking about they can't speak English when they hand me my food. And that was a light one. Light work. Let's see. We'll just do, you know what? We'll do this so people aren't calling me out. We're gonna type this in together. Britain. 2-tier sentence. Oh, 2-tier sentencing, policing, visa, sponsorships, application. 2-tier. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Screw it.
Is Britain's legal system now officially anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-male and anti-heterosexual? Today, every magistrate was sent this email. It told them that there were new sentencing guidelines that they should enforce when considering
new sections on the purpose of sentencing threshold, consideration of previous convictions, consolidate significantly up the pre-sentencing reports, effectiveness of sentencing. You pause to read if you want, but
sending someone to prison. That seems to enshrine two-tier justice into law. Potentially one sentence for white, Christian, straight men and one sentence for ethnic minorities, cultural minorities and trans people. You can see it here in black and white. When deciding on sentencing, the magistrate should take into consideration if the guilty party is, and I quote, from an ethnic minority, cultural minority and or faith minority community.
What? As an American, you know who we get to learn about? He's fascinating to learn about. His name is Martin Luther King Jr. He had this thing one time in the late 60s where he had this dream where this didn't happen. That was 50 years ago.
Why? What does that mean? There are two explanations for this, in my view. One, This is the bigotry of low expectations. Oh, because somebody is an ethnic minority, they're less likely to be able to understand the law. They must have had a harder life. Absolute load of rubbish. The second, straight up, anti-white racism. You'll notice that the judge should also take into consideration if somebody has disclosed they are transgender. Again, why? Are they less able to understand the law? And another thing you'll notice, judges are being told to take into consideration whether or not offenders say they are victims of human trafficking. Well, what does that mean? Well, every single illegal migrant who commits a crime will try and get a lower sentence by claiming to be the victim of human trafficking. Shadow Justice Minister Robert Jenrick, who's actually on my show...
Just as if you're a refugee, you don't go in claiming, well, I'm poor in my home country. You go in saying, I'm being persecuted for my religious beliefs in my home country. But you're an atheist. Yeah, that doesn't matter. What? What?
Later tonight, raise this in Parliament.
Why is the Justice Secretary enshrining this double standard, this two-tier approach to sentencing? This is an inversion of the rule of law. We on this side of the House believe in equality under the law.
And here is Labour's Justice Minister, Shabana Mahmood, saying this. Now listen very closely here.
As somebody who's of an ethnic minority background myself, I do not stand for any differential treatment before the law for anyone of any kind, and there will never be a two-tier sentencing approach under my watch or under this Labour government.
Bang.
Oh, hang on a minute. Has she not just misled the House of Commons there? Is she telling the truth? Let's look again. The guidance sent out to magistrates tells them to consider as part of a pre-sentencing report whether or not someone is an ethnic minority. And although not binding, as the guidelines say, these reports can be pivotal in helping magistrates decide whether or not to send someone to jail. It's right there. It's two-tier justice. Now, earlier today, Shabana Mahmood, when she was approached about this and realised that it was blowing up, she essentially tried to wriggle out of it. She said, well, she wasn't aware of this. And then, shock horror, what happened? Well, the minutes of the meeting where this was discussed emerged, and it turned out that there was a representative from Shabana Mahmood who was there, and that representative did not raise it. And now Mahmood is saying that her aide didn't actually tell her. So there we go. It's quite difficult to get a straight answer, isn't it? But there we have it. In Keir Starmer's Britain,
if you're in a leadership role, I don't care if it's a fucking McDonald's or the President of the United States, whatever goes wrong is your fault. Well, they didn't tell me. It's your fault. They're your people. That means you're not running a good business. You're not running a communicative. But that's not the case, is it? That's not the case. They didn't want to do anything about it. They obviously knew. We're getting tired of this. The normal people, such as I, we can see this shit. Social media is everywhere. We're filming inside the fucking parliaments, inside the congresses, inside the you name it. We're getting to see your Pete Hegseths rip apart, the senators and shit. As entertaining as it is, it's also important and meaningful. So the commoners can understand what's going on in the elite spaces. I'm not going to go into, I think we all know what's happening as far as brutality, sexualization, just degeneracy, theft. Violent assault, the domestic violence, that stat is crazy. Do some research. To those in England who are seeing their homeland just be destroyed by rampant illegal immigration, those in America, we're with you, man. The West has to stick together. And when I say the West, I mean democracies and so on and so forth. You can have your opinions on, this government or this government or this government. By the way, they're all shit. However, we have one Earth. We have one Earth. 193 countries. Out of those 193 countries, how many of them do the people actually get to see? Not many. And Britain England, Britain, whatever you guys call yourselves, America, well, Canada, whatever. Mexico's a cartel, but you get my point. We have some of the best concept as a government. We have a lot of shady people who are taking that concept and running it into the fucking dirt, but that's the people's job to vote them out of the office. We'll see, man. We'll see. We're gonna do a lot more on this because it's ramping up. It's not going away. It's ramping up. And like he said, they're putting shit into law now. USA, baby.